Two Sheds Gabby back with another copper penny hoarding hunt, seeing how much copper I can get, as well as looking for wheat pennies and Canadian copper pennies. It's always fun to find one of these. I love finding these. Then you know you got at least one. Those are fun to find. Well, I'll open these up and we'll see how much copper we find today. Hopefully I'll get close to 3 pounds. This was that wheat penny ender. Let's see what we get started with today. 1944, Philadelphia. Wheatie number 1. While I was out and about today, I did get a 40% silver. That was fun. I asked one of the tellers, "You got any half dollars?" She says, "I think I got 4. I said, "Can I see them?" And she held them up there. I said, "I'd like to have this one." She says, "Okay." That was cool. And I picked up my 2 boxes of halves today, and they weren't all 2023. I'd say they were half. They were mixed this time. And so I did go through them all, and I didn't find any silver. I found one NIFC. So maybe I can start weeding down and getting rid of getting to the point where they don't have all the 2022s and 2023s, and we can get back to some good hunts again. I stopped in another bank where I frequently get half dollars, and a lot of times they'll have a box there. And they had a box today, a sealed box, and they're real nice to me. 83, I'll set that aside. And I said, "Would you mind if I broke the seal on this and looked at it?" I said, "I've been getting lots of boxes that are all 2023, and I said, I just can't do anything with them." So, yeah, sure, they didn't care. And it was 2023. So I said, "If you don't mind, I'm not going to buy them." They're like, "We don't care. No problem at all." They're super nice over there. Super duper nice. Another 83. That is so not copper. 82. So I got a call from one of the gentlemen where I attend services with, and they had said a bunch of the guys are going to get together to go to Cracker Barrel in the morning. So I guess I'll meet them over there. Get something really light, like biscuits and gravy. I usually don't eat any breakfast, but when you want to go out and chat with the guys, I can do that. This is the 3rd roll, and that is one rough looking wheat penny. Chewy. $19.20. Oh wow, it's an old one. 104 years old. Golly, that's cool. I can't tell if there's a mint mark. I don't think there is. Well, maybe it is. I think maybe there was a mint mark there at one time, but I can't tell what it was. Well, that's cool. 104-year-old coin. Cool. I saw a little clip today on YouTube where a Columbia student was trying to get on campus. He had his student ID, clearly a student there, and there was protesters, masked of course, and there's a policeman standing there next to the line that these protesters had drawn. And the student said, "I just want to get to my class. I want to go onto campus." And he said, "Here is a police officer." Said, "The police officer is not preventing me." He said, "It's these people, masked people here." But I thought it was fascinating that the police officer did nothing to see that this student could get on campus. That's unbelievable. I saw Bill O'Reilly made a comment about Colombia. I guess, I don't know. I saw him say it today. He may have said it a few days ago, but he said Colombia's doomed. He said, what parents are going to send their kids to pay $85,000 a year to Colombia after this? He said, in his opinion, they'll never recover. Well, this is now the 7th roll and the 3rd wheat penny. This ain't too great looking. I believe it says 51D. Number 3. So last week I put up a video and copper pennies had reached up to 2.97 cents each. Man, I was hoping it was going to hit that 3-cent mark, but it drew back a little bit this week. They're back down to 2.93 cents each now. Not bad, but I was really hoping to hit that 3-cent mark. $82. That looks like a nice copper one right there. It's an 82. Let's weigh it anyway, because I thought it was. Yep, that one's copper. I thought it was. I think this is the very next roll. Roll 8. And here is Wheatie number 4. That's a good start. I hope it keeps it up. 1945, Denver. Very cool. So when I was 23, I think, I moved with a buddy. We moved down to Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And one of the gentlemen I met where we was going to church there, his family owned a communications company. They did lots of different stuff, filmed news events and different things. They had a studio and everything, but there was a private company, so I guess they were for hire. I don't know how that works, but anyway, one of the things they did was satellite downlinks. That was, the era of the big events and satellite. They would do religious events where I think like the Mormons had a big thing out in Utah, but Mormons all over the country would rent these convention centers, and then companies like my friend would set up the satellite and then present the shows, so that everybody didn't have to go to Utah. They could have their conventions in their prospective areas. Let me move to the next row. Anyway, they hired me part-time to go set up these satellite dishes and then, get the signal and work with the projectionist to get that set up, blah, blah, blah. And the reason I remembered the Mormons, because I was at that one. And, I remember doing one for a finance company. They had employees all over the country, and so they would just get together in these regions, whatever, and then we would set up the satellite dish. And when there were, at a certain time, you had to get your signal and then wait till the event is ready to start, and then you hook up with the projectionist, and then you just protect the gear, make sure nobody moves your satellite dish or anything during the presentation. Anyway, I said all that to get to this point. One time we were going to Biloxi, Mississippi, to this big convention center, and they was going to uplink a big boxing match, but I don't remember who it was, but it was a big deal. And thousands of people came to this convention center to see this boxing match, on the great big screen. And we got there like normal, set up it was a massive, huge satellite dish. We had to get it all put together and everything. And we ran our wires and waited for our time for the signal. We got our signal, no problem. And then we went and met the projectionist because they're hired separately for some reason. And the projectionist just had problems. The projectionist just couldn't get it to work, and so he had a backup unit, and so he broke the first one down and set up the backup unit, and it didn't work. And showtime came, and he did not have a picture for the big screen, and man, there was some mad people. I felt really glad that it wasn't our fault, but that didn't it didn't help any because the people couldn't see it. And so, the person in charge of the Coliseum apologized and promised everybody their ticket money back and all that sort of stuff. We had a little 4-inch screen, to know that we've got the proper signal, 82. And so some people, as they were leaving, happened to see that we had a 4-inch screen of the boxing match going on, and they came over and I guess made enough ruckus. Several hundred people gathered around and was huddled around this little 4-inch screen watching this boxing match and screaming and hollering. They was already mad to start with. It was pretty wild, but we at least got to present them the match on a 4-inch screen. Oh man, another 82. That was pretty funny. Not for them, but for me. Here's wheat penny number 5. Man, it's going pretty good with the wheat pennies. 55. I guess nothing out of the ordinary there. Roll 11 and 5 wheat pennies. I hope it keeps that up. That's real good. I did check, and silver has pulled back a little bit too. It was over $27 an ounce, and it's like $26.64 at close today, something like that. And I see that the crypto market has been falling the last few weeks. Always up and down, but it's on a downward trend. And the person that I watch occasionally, he's been saying this for a long time. He's been telling everybody, sell, 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 because it's going to dip more. It's more. He thinks that Bitcoin might drop below 50. I don't know if he'll get that low or not, but he said, well, everybody else is saying it's going to hit 100. He's like, no, it's not this time, because it's going to draw back, and maybe the next run. And so I followed his advice to some extent. When he was saying sell, I cashed some of mine out, and now when it drops back down some more, I'll buy it back and hopefully make a nice chunk off of it. I'll weigh that one. Did you hear the 2.5? Just had a roll with 17 copper. Boy, I wish they were all like that. This, I believe, is the 17th roll and wheat penny number 6. So it's still going pretty good. Nice looking wheatie. What was that? 57D. Well, I've got kind of a weird story here. 82. I was 14 years old, almost 15. It was the summer that I turned 15. My birthday's in July. And a friend of mine had a motorcycle. It wasn't a very big one. Oh, there's number 7. 1947D. That's cool. I'm finding multiples in the roll. Pretty dark. Cool. Number 7. And my friend came over with a motorcycle. Hey, there's my first 2009 even. Says, let's go for a ride. I'm like, oh, great. So we go for a ride. And several miles away, I have a girlfriend named Kathy, There's another 2009. Well, this roll is producing a lot. Man. And we go over there and visit with her for a little bit. And we're getting ready to leave. And just out of the blue, I had a nickname back then. I guess I'll tell you. It was Cudger. And people still call me that today sometimes. Anyway, she goes, don't ride home with him. I'm like, what? She goes, I'm telling you, just don't ride home. She goes, call your dad to come and get you or walk home. There's week number 3. Wow, that's so cool. 1951. 8. Man, what a roll. She's just insistent. She goes, please, don't ride home with him. She goes, I have a bad feeling. And I wrote it off as just nonsense. And so I hopped on the back. And we're heading home. And there's a pretty long stretch. It's like 3 miles of a road. It's hilly, but it's straight, called Pennsylvania Run. And we're heading up Pennsylvania Run back to my house. And then the next thing I'm remembering is I look up and there's a bunch of people standing around me, kind of spinning around. And I'm feeling really weird. And after a couple of minutes, I finally start coming to myself and like, what in the world happened? And my friend said, man, he said, I don't know what happened. He goes, we were just riding along. He goes, and it felt like something just pulled you off. He didn't wreck or nothing. He said it just felt like something pulled me off the back of the bike. Folks, I have no idea. I mean, I'm not all weird about that kind of stuff, but it was weird, I'll have to say. And so after a little while, I had blood coming out of my ear. And so I finally just got back on the bike and we got home. And I was kind of late getting home, and my dad had just rototilled the garden, and he was a little upset with me. And the tines on the rototiller gets all just covered in weeds and dirt and stuff, so he told me to clean the tines on the rototiller. He didn't notice that I had blood coming out of my head. And I started doing that, and I apparently passed out again. And so they grabbed me up and asked me what's going on, and I think I fibbed to them. I think there was a big slide at the park at the other end of Pennsylvania Run, and I think I told them I fell off of that. I don't remember why I did that. I think they knew I was on the motorcycle, but it doesn't matter. They took me to the hospital, and apparently I had a pretty bad concussion, and I busted my eardrum. And to this day, I can't hear very good out of that ear. Anyway, it was not fun telling my girlfriend that I had a bad injury on the way home. And, I'm not going to say much. I'll say it's weird. That's all I know is it was weird. And I don't try to attribute anything more than that to it, because I guess there's things in this world we don't understand. And so that's just where I have left it. That's almost a mirror look, but it's not an S. I'm in the 24th row, one more row in this first half, and there's wheat penny number 9. That's pretty cool. 58D. I think I've told this story before, but it's been a pretty long time, and it is about that same girlfriend. I was at her house one day, and we were sitting on the front porch, and her mom came out and squeezed in between us and sat down in between us. And this was so weird. She goes, prunes are okay, but there'll be no alfalfa. And then she got up and went in. And I look at my girlfriend like, what was that? And she said she was instructing us on how we can kiss. Well, let me tell you, there's a lot of alfalfa going on. Well, folks, I'm halfway through the box and it's after 11 p.m. I'm going to go to bed and pick up sometime tomorrow. I guess I'll probably go out to breakfast and then maybe after that. Well, I am back to my penny hunt. Had a kind of a restless night and I didn't get up in time to go have breakfast with the guys. That was a bummer. I couldn't believe I got up that late. I did go get the grocery shopping done. Our relative that's living with us that's on hospice care, he just wants soup every day. And we're trying to get this house ready to sell. It's just a madhouse. And so we're having to go to the grocery to buy like Progresso and stuff like that, which I hate doing. It's so much salt. So today I went and got the low salt ones. They're still high in salt, but they're only half of what they usually have. So it's about the best I can do for now. Hopefully in the few days, or a few weeks rather, we can get back to making him soup. His nurse said, cut the salt down. She goes, give him all the ice cream and treats he wants, but less salt. She said the ice cream and those types of goodies, those are things that break down a body long term, whereas the soup is affecting him. He's filling up with fluids. He's all swollen. They're getting him on, trying lots of different things to get it down. But she said we're not concerned about the 5-year stuff. We're concerned about the right now stuff. It's kind of sad, but I guess the truth. My wife just brought me my Yeti of ice water. Oh, last night I was talking about a few things about my old girlfriend, Kathy. And I was just thinking that after that summer, she broke up with me for this other guy, a guy that I liked. I didn't know him real well, but we were friendly. And I guess they had a thing, so life goes on. She ended up moving to California. She actually called me several years later to see what I was up to, but I said I'm actually a happily married man. So she said, oh, okay. I just came across, I think this was the next roll, my first Canadian. A little rough. 1966 copper, 98% copper. Ooh, oh wow. The front is really rough. Almost can't even distinguish it. Well, that'll go in my Canadian copper hoard. 83, I guess I'll weigh that one in a sec. That one is so definitely not copper. It's really hard to tell if I'm in line to get my 3 pounds or not, because I'll have a few rolls, with 12 or 13, but then I get one here with 5. So I think I'm doing okay, but I'm getting enough rolls with 4 or 5 that it could mess me up and not quite get my 3 pounds. I did find the third 2009 Memorial. This is the 7th roll in the second half, and there is wheat penny number 10. We've hit it already. So hopefully we might even find a couple more. 1945. Not great shape. That's okay. So all you folks out there that are hoarding copper, how long will you keep doing it? Will you keep doing it till you're not even getting 1 pound per box? Or will you quit then? Will you hold out to the very last copper penny? As long as there might be a copper penny out there, you're going to keep doing it? I don't have an answer to that. I guess it partly depends on the price of copper. If copper's real high, it's like, hey, if I can find a few more, I can find a few more. But, I don't know that I'll go forever and ever. My goal, of course, for this year is 260 pounds. and that will get me to the 500-pound mark, not counting just some raw copper I've got laying around. And I don't know, I'm going to be moving, I think, this year, and we'll see how our space works. Here's my second Canadian copper penny. This is the 12-sided, 1995. My friend in West Virginia went through a box of pennies yesterday. He got 4 pounds of copper and 12 Canadian pennies. Man, I need to go through those boxes. He's doing pretty good over there. I think he said that box had 9 wheat. There's a copper penny that's really been worn down. Golly, let's see how much it weighs. 2.9 grams. Well, I'm in the 13th roll in the second half. It's been quite a few rolls since I've gotten that number 10 wheat penny. I got 9 wheat pennies in the first half. Wouldn't it be nice to actually get 18 in this box? 9 first half, 9 second half. Seems reasonable to me. This is my yard barn that I had installed, I guess the last year. I sell equipment for a company, and I just got an order. Oh, my light's off. Oh no. Oh, I believe it's this guy right here. Nope, that's not it. There it is. I gotta get this packaged up and get out of here. We just painted this shed that was built attached to the house, and we had the electric cord going up the side of that and around over to the new yard barn shed, and we unplugged it to paint it. I forgot we hadn't plugged it back in yet. Wow, folks, just 4 rows to go and I'm done. I haven't seen a wheat penny or a copper penny in a bunch of rolls. And this roll finally had 10 in it. I think it's been 10 rolls since I've had one with 10 in it. So, phew, it may be tough to get the 3 pounds even. But hopefully we'll get lucky and still get 3 pounds. 4 more rolls. There's one. Here's Wheatie number 11. 3 rows to go. 1956D. 11 is good. I just... You know, you get 9 in the first half and you think, oh man, this is really a good one. So there's no complaints. I did good. But sometimes you think, maybe I'll do better than that. Anyway, that's just how our brain works. There's an 83, 2.5 grams. Oh, I got something to say, or a question, however you want to put it. I was at the bank yesterday, and a teller said, have you heard about the duplicate serial numbers? I said, no, I haven't. What's going on? She says, I just heard about this yesterday. She said, apparently, I think like 2014, 2016, something like that, they made millions of duplicate serial numbers, the Fed, which is in essence counterfeiting themselves. And there's only been 37 pairs identified, but they know that there's tons of them out there, but they've been circulating for 8-10 years. But if you one person sold their pair for $150,000, which I'm guessing those were like in pristine condition. But anyway, they're worth a ton of money if you can put a pair together. That's wild. I was thinking, what if you did some research to know exactly the serial numbers that are duplicated, the years, whatever, and start a database or start a website, and you start listing all the ones that you have, and other people could list the ones that they have. Another 82. And then people could get on and start listing, everybody could list their numbers, and when you get matches, those two people get together and split their money. Seems like that could be successful. Another 82. Just a thought. I mean, it's going to take more research, obviously. But out of all those millions of bills they say they've done, to only have 37 of them accounted for, man, doesn't seem like it'd be that difficult. I mean, people would have to hang on to a lot of dollars, because you don't want to list it and then spend it, because then you've wasted your time listing it. Another 82. Just a thought. Another 82. Well, I finished the box. I didn't get anything else except for a little bit more copper. 11 wheat pennies, which is good. I thought I might do better than that after the first half. But I got 10 plus, so I can't complain there. Let's see how close we got to the 3 pounds of copper. Off by 1 ounce, so that's not too bad. The box is 1.1 ounce, so I can't complain. Pretty good box. Only got 2 copper Canadian this time, but that's alright. I'll get this added over to the other copper and we'll see where we're at. Well, it's over 12 pounds there, so the next box, if it's a decent box, should seal me up another one at 15 pounds. That's pretty cool.